Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Monday Assembly. This week, looking at another one of our core values, communication. And a nice quote on the top right: follow your dreams, believe in yourself, and don't give up. We're going to start today by welcoming back year 3 and 4. It's great to have you back in school. We have all missed you, but it's been great to see all the learning that you've been doing from home and seeing you all on the Zoom calls each day. We're going to start with our school mantra. So let's read together. Each day is a new beginning. We work together to reach our goals. Friendship and fun create happiness. We all play our special role. Teachers, parents, and children unite to help us learn the things we need. Together, we can make a difference, ensuring we all succeed. Believe, achieve, succeed. We're getting really good at that now. I can't wait till we're all in the hall together and are able to read this together and sing our songs together as well. And today we've got a brand new song that I'm very excited about, and I can't wait to hear you singing it around school. But we're going to move on to our next core value. And this week's core value is communication. It was great walking around on Friday to give the core value awards out for cooperation. And we remember cooperation with the story of the two donkeys that eventually worked together as a team to achieve their goal. But today, we're going to look at communication. And that is expressing our ideas, thoughts, and feelings in many different ways. If you want to teach us, you can pause now and see if the children know any more about communication or ways in which we communicate today. Some excellent ideas there. Very, very impressed. As always, we talk about our expectations and our 4 rules at Macefield Primary School. Each week, I focused on a different rule, and this week, we're going to be touching and linking communication to the talking rule. And you'll see this more as I go onto the next few slides and read today's story. It's really important in the last 4 weeks that we really understand these 4 rules and follow these 4 rules to make Macefield the best school in the world. I'm really impressed over the last few weeks that we have been following these rules. And on Friday, I did walk around to look at the thinking books around school, and I saw that the entries were very, very low. And I was very, very impressed. So let's try and keep the entries this week as low as possible. And make sure that we all follow these 4 rules. So communication. Communicating with each other. And you'll see by the picture on screen there, we see lots of different people talking to each other. And that's one way that we communicate. I want you to think for a moment and imagine a world without phones, without computers, without TVs, without the internet, and without social media. Imagine what it would be like if the only way to communicate with people was to either write them a letter or speak to them face to face. Just pause now and have a discussion about what that would be like without all the things we're so used to in this modern world. Another great discussion. But I'm going to take you back well over 100 years, nearly 200 years ago, back to 1830. Because in 1830, it took between 5 and 8 months for a letter that was sent from the UK to reach India. Imagine that. By the time you had found out that something had happened, it would be just a distant memory to the sender of the letter. However, by 1879, just less than 50 years later, it only took 5 hours for a telegram to reach India from the UK. It was definitely an improvement, but it's not quite instant messaging like we have now. In today's world, we can send a message to anywhere in the world within a second. Absolutely anywhere. We've got email, we've got WhatsApp, we've even got video calls. But years and years ago, it was just pen and paper and letters. The invention that made these, we call them telegrams, possible was the telegraph. And it was someone called Samuel Morse who helped to invent it. It was first used in 1844. Some of you may recognise that surname, Morse, because Morse also invented a special code that consisted of dots and dashes. The code could be sent along the telegraph wire and decoded at the other end. And even today, in emergencies, Morse code is used, and especially at sea, and especially in the armed forces, it's used. And some of you in history lessons, when we're learning about invasions, whether that be the Romans, the Vikings, the Saxons, etc., they will have tried communicating, not with Morse code, but in different ways. And some of you may have learned about how they did communicate to ensure that their invasions were successful. I'm going to play you a quick video now. Hopefully it'll work. This is Morse code, and this is the alphabet in Morse code. Just have a moment now to discuss with your teacher about how difficult that must have been to understand. We can see the letters of the alphabet, but each letter is represented by different sounds. I'm going to tell you the story of how Morse code came around. It's a very interesting story and maybe more appropriate for Key Stage 2, but Key Stage 1 teachers, help me out if the children do find this explanation a little difficult to understand. It might be worth pausing and discussing or moving on. Samuel Morse was the son of a Christian minister, and after studying various subjects at college, he became a painter. As he became better known, he often had to travel around America to do different paintings and work for different people. In 1818, at the age of 27, he married a woman called Luce Quieta. They made their home in America and had 3 children. And it was this moment, very, very soon after, or a few years later, that helped him create Morse code. In 1825, Samuel was working on a painting design that was over 300 miles from his home when he received a letter from his father explaining that his wife had taken ill. The next day, however, Morse received another letter from his father, sadly saying that his wife had passed away. Morse left Washington straight away and had 300 miles to travel. But by the time he actually reached his home, his wife's funeral had taken place and she had been buried because of the time it took for the letter to arrive. He'd been unaware, whilst doing this paper, that his wife had even fallen ill. And this was made him really motivated to find a way of transmitting news and sending information over long distances very, very quick. He set to work, and after many setbacks, he eventually sent a message over a phone line. He never gave up. We've spoken about a word similar to that in our core values: resilience, perseverance. And because of him, we now enjoy unlimited communication and unlimited access to information at the click of a button. A very sad story, but a very important invention he made. I want you to reflect now and have a think about how we communicate with each other. And how do we follow that talking rule? Could be the communication rule. Do we respect each other's views? Do we listen? Do we pause? And then do we return information? Have a pause of the video and discuss with your classmates. And finally, our new song for today. Some may remember it from 2 years ago. It's called Stars. It's a great, lively song for today. It's going to set us up for the week ahead. And it's a very busy week ahead with Sports Day. The weather's looking great, and I'm really looking forward to us all being involved in this. Have a great week, everyone.